Hello, everybody. Cloudy day here. Still not real cold, but it's a cloudy day. Kind of cold. So last night I had the opening of the Flowers show at Gallery 1261. That was a blast. Uh, a lot of folks showed up, which was great. A lot of friends and colleagues and students and sweet, really nice, really, really nice. And it was great seeing all the work up on the walls. I don't usually have that opportunity. It took me a while to, in fact, I don't think it wasn't until this morning, truly, that I had a sense of like taking in like, oh, all that work. I want to go back and just like walk through it and just get a feel for it. Like, I'm not used to that at all. First, I'm not used to seeing all the work up on walls. That was great. And then I'm not used to having people come in and look at it while I'm standing there. It's like, whoa, this is like, wow, what does that entail to like be there with that, take that in? What is that? To really experience like putting putting them in the world, putting the work in the world. I don't mean like selling them. I mean just having them be seen in the world as a thing. I mean, was I was feeling it to some extent, but this morning I could feel it more. Anyway, taking it in like, whoa, that was great. That was great seeing everybody. So thank you all who came. I really appreciate it. And if you're in Boulder, April 4th and 5th, there are two receptions for some shows. I mean, all of this all at once. They're remarkable. Anyway, wild. Uh, I mean, the last time I had a one person show in Denver was 6 years ago. It's not a frequent experience that I have. It was great. So, and then I thought, well, maybe I'd read a little something from my teacher, Don Wagant from Santa Cruz. He was my second drawing teacher, taught a lot about composition. He was remarkable. I think some of you have heard me talk about Don. And this is, it's called Inaugural Lecture from 1977. I had him, I think, in 1980, so a few years later. And I guess this is inaugural lecture for a gallery, maybe? I don't know. The the university gallery? I don't know what this was for. But it's an extraordinary document. I'm just going to read a little section here, but the whole thing is incredible. When I was a young man, the practice of painting seized me by the ear and led me through more tubes of paint than I care to recall. I learned a little. I learned that to begin is to begin. I learned that a painter's composition almost invariably initiates and settles in its plan into a few basic relationships, no matter how complex the parts. I learned to keep the overall pace and placement open to change so as not to force the image or idea into a dead formality. I learned that air has structure. I learned that there is movement, rhythm, and repetition to all things, and stillness moves. I learned to diffuse my attention while concentrating my attention. I learned that peripheral vision is the key to composition. I learned that there are dominant and subdominant styles of elaboration. I learned that if structure is understood, ornament elaborates the form. I learned there is timing and tempo to painting, and that pattern is music to the eye. I learned that the simultaneity of contrast, positive and negative, is a space intensifier. I learned that to paint out an image, to tear down the structure once, twice, again and again, that is not necessarily lost to one, but in fact may gain in intensity, concentration, a qualification, which would never have arisen except by that route. Consequently, an accident can become a revelation. I learned to wait, to watch, and to listen. I learned there is a tactile structure balance. Tactile structure balance inherent to the surface of the canvas, inseparable from the composition as a whole, inseparable from the touch of the brush, which reveals the mind thinking and the body feeling. I learned that to hesitate is not a weakness. It is a shift, a search, a waiting for the feel, a waiting for the opening when the timing is right to advance. I learned that I gravitate toward a flat space, not a full space, or rather a full space, flatly stated. I learned that the eye must always outdistance the mind. I learned that I do not have a technique, but only a vocabulary. I learned that form can predominantly expand and still be supremely contained. For example, Matisse, Diebenkorn, Kenzo Okada, and the great landscape painting of China. I learned that form can predominantly contract, and through that contraction, release an expansion of counterforce breathlessly real. For example, the immortal Rembrandt, Giotto, Vermeer, great sculpture anywhere, Suzuki Harunabi, the abstract painting of Philip Guston, Giorgio Morandi, Paul Cézanne. Phrasing, transition, interval, connection, equilibrium, edge, all essentials. Phrasing invokes the mechanism of the unit. Transition invites the mystery of the form. Interval profounds a silence in the space. Connection is a sister to transition. Equilibrium is a constant unto rest. An edge is as playful as a fox. We must learn the mysteries of transition. Therein lies the fundamental of rhythm. Therein lies the fusion of movement and measure. Therein lies the fitness of connection. Equilibrium must never be too comfortable. It is prone to lethargy. Edge will spark its balance. Surprise will tease its comfort. We seek then a form of aliveness. pictorial reality, which becomes the moment of form. Pretty great. Pretty great. He was an extraordinary teacher, person, sweetheart, lovely, lovely, modest man who did a wicked Charlie Chaplin imitation. He could mime. It was something. Anyway, they're dense. There's a lot in that. I've lived with those words now for God, how long, how many years, reading it myself, sharing it in classes. Oh my God. How long is that? 20, 40? Oh, over 40 years. That's nuts. Well, there you go. I hope you're all well. Starting the week. Draw, paint, mark. Just make marks. Just make marks and be there when you're mark making. That's all. All right. Signing off. Um, be well. I'll talk to you soon. And it's lovely hearing from you all. So that's cool. That's great. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.